What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the channel. Something a little bit different today. We are checking out EAFC 2026. So there's been a brand new trailer released. We're going to check it out. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it as predominantly an eFootball player. And let's go straight into it. So the first thing I notice in this trailer is, right, they start as usual with the no actual gameplay. And then they kind of break the fourth wall and slice it up and say, do you know what? Look, we do this every year. And they kind of highlight a load of, community feedback, or they highlight a load of people messaging in on, their forums, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, right? And basically it's just literally everybody saying, just show us gameplay. We don't want movies, just show us gameplay, actual gameplay. So I kind of did like that tongue in cheek, but then they proceed to, actually show us some stuff that is not available in game, or certain images not available in game. So when the screen actually looks here, man, it looks pretty decent. Like, it looks very, very FIFA-esque. The presentation has never been an issue in FIFA. The pitch colors, the actual, players, the models, everything looks pretty decent. Even from this angle here, it looks absolutely, beautiful, really. Juventus versus Atletico, I definitely think that they've picked a few of these teams to just kind of, bat away the rumours that they could be coming to eFootball. Jude Bellingham, Juventus, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, all of these teams, right? But when it starts actually playing here, man, from this angle, they show you this kind of here, there's a couple of little bits and pieces to look for, right? The first thing I noticed was they've kind of gone for this new overlay, and you can see it here under the player's name. So you can see Endrick there. They also talk about fixing tackles, right? So this is two issues I have with eFootball. I'm not going to compare eFootball every single time. We're going to judge it on, its merits here and what it is, right? But they throw a lot of information at us here. But a lot of this stuff actually it actually impressed me the way that they're talking about this. Again, playing the game is going to be different. I will try it out this year. But they talk about fewer bounce backs, less unpredictable blocks and clearances, more controlled interceptions, more consistent outcomes. I like that. Now, I don't like that they talk about making the gameplay a little bit quicker, because anytime I watch FIFA, if I watch any of the boys playing it, the FIFA guys streaming, it always looks super fast. And they talk about two different types of gameplay. Now, I would like to see something like this come into eFootball as well. Again, I'm going back to talk about eFootball, but for most of my fan base, that is what people are going to be as their baseline. They have two different play styles: competitive gameplay and authentic gameplay. It seems to be that there's going to be a choice when you're playing offline, but online obviously is going to be just the one. So they've included both here, and they say that you can see the difference, that it just looks way, way, way faster and zippier. And then obviously the competitive play is literally going to be, where a lot of the players are down, a little bit more kind of predictable, that they're going to be able to never lose stamina or anything like that. So probably trying to target that kind of fast, frenetic type of play, right? Now, I want to go back here a second, right, and just show you this fluid dribbling and dynamic dribbling. A lot of buzzwords, a lot of stuff that they're talking about is obviously going to come into the game. But this is definitely being inspired, I think, by the player archetypes and the player builds and the player skills that we have seen in eFootball creep in, especially with the cards and, the selling of those cards or whatever. Dynamic dribbling looks very, very sharp. The dribbling here looks very, very nice as well with the responsive dribbling. Again, we do have the skills and the weak foot under the player card there as well. Goalkeeper overhaul, again, fewer deflection goals. One of the huge issues in football games is the ball literally making a save, and the goalie making a save and the ball just going rebounding out. And again, man, that looks super, super quick now. That passing, it looks like there that the passing between authentic mode and competitive mode is going to be 70% to 100% quicker than FIFA or EAFC 2025. That's a bit crazy when you look at the passing here. I mean, this is not sped up. So this is, they have a graph here, FC 2025. This is 17% faster. And when it kind of goes up through this, you're talking about 60, 70% faster. It looks comically fast compared to, real football. But again, man, it's probably, the competitive mode needs to be fast and fluid and instantaneous. I've said this plenty of times, right? Definitely inspired by the player movement and the motion of the physicality. eFootball has kind of gone away from this, and they've auto-shielded and they've auto-assisted a lot of the physicality now. So EA are kind of leaning into this, pardon the pun. But I've said this all along, right? If you are creating a game where the passing is going to be super, super quick, the responsiveness is going to be instantaneous, and it needs to be instant if you have a fast, responsive game. not getting the ball trapped beneath your feet. But there needs to be a balance between it. If it's too fast, it's just pure arcade. But I do like this physicality that they have here. Smarter goalkeeper movement, smarter saves, low-driven power shots. Listen, it's a lot of buzzwords, a lot of stuff. They do talk about an updated manager career and a manager live where there seems to be kind of like dynamic goals, dynamic challenges. Apologies if a lot of this stuff isn't brand new. I mean, I haven't played EAFC 25 that much. I did try it out when it launched, but I didn't play that much of it. But this seems to be kind of like manager career mode specific challenges, which is kind of cool as well. I mean, we're crying out for dynamic challenges in eFootball. I keep going back to eFootball. I have to stop, man, because there'll be people watching this and saying, this guy's can't do a video on EAFC without mentioning eFootball every 5 seconds. But I do like the physicality, man. I don't know if that's going to be triggered. They also have this as well. I've seen a couple of people talking about this on-ball physicality. I'll just move my face cam here a second. But they also talk about this on-ball physicality there, right? Where the players are just bouncing off each other. I also seen a couple of people talking about the fact that Van Dijk doesn't have a jersey in it. And they were saying like, oh, maybe they're losing the license. As far as I know, what I've seen on Twitter, they just haven't announced or released the official Liverpool kit yet. So that's why they're not going to announce it or release it in this trailer. I think it's interesting that they put that in there though. And you can also see the Newcastle kit in there and playing in Liverpool Stadium. So yeah, it's an interesting trailer. I mean, it's definitely, their marketing team are definitely really good, especially if you haven't played EAFC and you don't know exactly what you're probably expecting year on year, right? So I'll just move this here again because there seems to be a lot of stuff down here. Simplified skill moves, one frame passing. There's a lot of, marketing spec here and marketing talk. But I do honestly think, man, that they have really put, this is obviously something to look at as well, and fans of eFootball will know. Here, where they talk about aerial fortress playstyle. So that's something else there to notice as well, that there's going to be this new playstyle aerial fortress. Of course, eFootball has aerial fort and fortress as two specific showtime skills in eFootball. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of kind of different things going on in the game. There's no doubt about that. But I do feel like, honestly, I don't know because I haven't played enough of EAFC. But I mean, the graphics look pretty much the same. They also have Zlatan, who's saved as the stinger for the end. He comes on and hits a pen. I mean, he looks good in the game. There's no doubt about it. They obviously have the license. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty decent. I mean, I don't know, would it be a trailer that's like, oh, this is going to make me get the game, I do like the fact that they've kind of fed into literally every single message here. Dribbling needs to be more responsive, too many bounce backs, fix tackles, bring back tournaments, update career mode. Passing needs to be faster. The pace needs some work. New player roles. Sometimes I just feel like this is too much. There's too many different voices going on. And sometimes I feel like with feedback for any football game, it's kind of like inviting a vegetarian, a vegan, and a meat eater to dinner. And it's like, what do you serve? Because you're going to upset some of them, or one of them's not going to be able to eat it. Sometimes you just have to pick a decision and have to pick a direction and bring the people that are, happy to get on board and learn the ropes of that game or the mechanics of that game, instead of trying to make it, a game for all. You know what I mean? But again, what do I know? I mean, that's just me. But I do feel, I do feel that it's definitely interesting. They also have the pre-orders open, and we know that the game is going to be coming out in August. You can see the release date there. There's obviously a couple of versions of the game if you want to pre-order it. You've got the Ultimate Edition, the Standard Edition. The Ultimate Edition here is saying that it's going to be, 26th of August to receive an exclusive Evo that boosts players. Yeah, an icon, untradeable item, one of player picks, and all of these, one archetype, all of this stuff, right? 7 days early access, so you'll be able to start the game, get full access to EA beginning on the 19th of September. So that's the release date it looks like there. And then obviously August will be the cutoff for ordering or pre-ordering the game. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I definitely think that, again, it's going to be the gameplay. I'm going to give it a chance. This year, I'm going to give it a pop and see actually, is it worth playing for me? If you guys are watching this video and you play EAFC a lot, let me know your thoughts on the game. Is there enough in that trailer, about it? I'm just giving it, basically a very, very, very naive reaction and breakdown of it, of the things that have popped out to me. I'll talk to you later, lads. Don't forget to subscribe if you've stumbled on the channel. Thanks for checking out. Talk to you in a bit.